This is one thing. You talk about keys for successful, uh, become a millionaire. Really, is I read a lot. I read 3 to 4 hours every day.
Oh,
I
wow.
have for years. And if you really want to be successful, you have to set the example. In my book, I talk about book club, and I just came from mine today. What I do primarily is I buy books for all of my employees. I pass them out. So here's a highlighter, here's a notebook. I want you to read chapter one, and we're going to come back in here. I split the company, Jamie, into two groups 24 or so on Wednesday morning at 10, and the other 24 on Thursday morning at 10. And we split it up so everybody has enough time to talk. And we cover the phones and that type of thing. So that works out phenomenally well
Wow.
for me. To give you an example of what we read Dale Carnegie's book, for example, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Very powerful book. When we got through at the time, we only had 30 some employees. We're growing quite rapidly. We're in the business world, it's known as a gazelle, where you grow by 20% or more every year. We're up by 38% so far this year. And we did 9 million last year. So I basically take the book club, the meetings that we have. I pay my employees to be in there, by the way. That costs me about 80, 90, 100,000 a year. But the return is phenomenal. Like I said, and it's not just a monetary thing. Let me explain. Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence
Mm.
People. I had four of my 36 employees, I think at the time, come to me and tell me, Dave, that book saved my marriage. And one of them, one of our ladies, she actually, her and her husband were separated, and it was not looking good. They were headed divorce. And to her credit, Jamie, she came to me after we read that book, and she said, I realized that I'm the problem, not my husband. And she has grown up a lot because of what she read. Now they're back together, and they're like best of friends because she realized she was being a schmuck, you
That's
know.
crazy. Yeah, you help
And
people in
yeah,
all aspects of their life.
everybody,
If you care
absolutely.
about them, tell me about the bad apple piece because I mean I've had clients before where we will do client evaluations and then we give them a time frame and they have to improve by this amount and all that fun stuff. And
Yep.
then the leader still can't pull the trigger, right? It's one of those things where it's like they failed and they failed and they failed and they're like, how many chances are you going to give them? Do you have like a three strikes policy in
Yep.
yeah, go ahead.
That's basically it.
Okay.
What we do typically when we see a problem, first of all, the manager will pull that individual aside and will say, Jamie, we noticed that you're really not doing this aspect of your job very well. What can we do to help you get there? So
Great.
we'll assign one of our trainers, Travis Sowers is our trainer, and for like the RCs and the salespeople, and he goes through the whole process to make sure people are doing every aspect of their job. And in the things they're weak in, he focuses on that, helps them get them up to speed. Because when you're on a world class working with world class people, you stand out when you're not. You know what I mean? It
Definitely.
really is obvious. So because they see the metrics every day compared to their coworkers, they know that you don't want to be. It's almost like it's. I don't want to say that we're threatening their jobs because that's not the case. But you don't want to be like the biggest loser on TV. Where they got the yellow line. You don't fall below the yellow line below it all the time
Yep.
because you're the weak link. And it's easy to see you're the weak link because you're below the yellow line all the time. So I mean that's what we do. We work with them, try to get everybody up where everybody wins, and there's no reason to replace anybody. We have very very low turnover at our company because of that reason. And the thing is, I was talking to my guys today in our in the book club, and I don't say every week, but in the last few weeks, I've had at least two people who left the company. Actually, one of them was fired, one of them left on their own, and they want to come back. And one of the number one things they say they want to come back for, they miss book club. I mean, they're sitting there, they're learning. I'm paying them to learn, but because we grow together so much in a bond, if you will, with the other team members, because that's the only place that you would have production people sitting next to salespeople.
Mm.
And before I started book club a decade ago, and it's made me millions of dollars. I'm not exaggerating one iota on that. Before I started doing that, the production people did nothing with the salespeople. But now it's not uncommon to see them go to lunch together
That's awesome.
because
Yeah,
they,
you
they
really
get to
get the
know each other in
community.
book club. Yeah, exactly. And, like I said, we're up 38% this year. We grow by over 20% a year average
So if there's
for
a
15 years. I mean, that's pretty strong.
that's ridiculous. Yeah,
You know
that's
what? And if I
ridiculous.
actually worked for a living, it'd be even higher.
I actually wasn't on vacation swimming on the pool.
Yeah. I mean, my friends are going like, "What? You're on vacation again?" Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
I love my life. Thank you. I worked my butt
I do
off at
love
the
my life.
beginning. I mean, you even talked about at the beginning, survival was number one.